Well, I got to give a big shout out to Facebook right off the top, man. I mean, I started my Facebook page the last day after my last day of resignation. We opened up our Facebook page and started sharing the news. People started joining right away. Other people started getting connected. We started putting pictures on there. We started putting information on there. I use Blogspot. I don't know if you know Blogspot, but I go there and you can check out Blogspot. You can find that link through our Facebook page. And Frankie, for church planners out there, I've been blogging since 2 weeks, actually 4 weeks before we open. So if you want to journey what it looks like to be a church planner from beginning all the way to now, I've been blogging since April of last year, starting with each little miracle, each little story. So that's been incredibly significant. Obviously, the web, having a website, putting our, we also use our smartphones. We have smartphone applications so that you can download our sermons there. Our sermons are downloaded onto Facebook. Our sermons are downloaded onto our website. Those are some of the things that we've been using in the social networking world. We haven't even gotten to the other stuff. Haven't started a Twitter or any of that yet. That's our intention. But we definitely eventually want to go live streaming video. But those are the things that have really been the best for us technology-wise. And if you're talking about like trying to get connected with songs, songselect.com is a great place where you can get your CCLI number, and they have an incredible number of resources there with song sheets and information for you there. There's another site out there that I'll connect with that helps you plan. It's called Worship Planner. I don't know if you guys know where Worship Planner is. You can type that in the search engine, and it gives you all the information on how to plan your services. So, man, there's a lot of stuff out there. That technology's been beneficial to us.
What, speaking of resources, and we'll touch right back on technology in a minute, what books would you recommend, like your top 3 as far as getting ready to start a church or in the middle, wherever? What books would you recommend?
I would definitely recommend Mark Batterson's book, The Wild Goose Chase. Incredible, incredible book. Mark Driscoll's The Radical Reformation, and Wayne Cordero's Leading on Empty. Those are 3 books that have just helped me walk through the journey. Those are 3 specific books. There's another guy, Nelson Searcy, out there who's got a lot of great resources for churches. He's just a really great guy, and I've met Nelson, and he's a top drawer guy. Really have a lot of respect for him. So those would be some of those books that I would look into for sure.
Now, real quick, are you guys affiliated with a church planning network, or are you guys strictly independent? Tell us a little bit about how you set that up, and when because a lot of people when they're seeking out a church want to know who you're affiliated with. Tell us how you address that and what you guys did for that.
Well, we are a member of the Association of Related Churches, the ARC network. So we're a member of that network. So that's our main affiliation. We also have the ability to ordain. We believe that in the next 10 years we're going to help plant 5 churches, and so we really believe that we're going to be able to be an ordaining body for those people, not to govern over them, but to let them have the freedom to build gospel-centric churches where Jesus Christ is Lord. And so our main affiliation, my prior affiliation is I am Pentecostal. So I grew up I didn't grow up, but I grew up in the faith in the Assemblies of God. My degree is from an Assembly of God seminary. But our number one affiliation right now is with the Association of Related Churches, and so that's our big place. You can find on our website, you can find what we believe. Okay. You can find all 16 things of what we believe on there. I know a lot of folks ask, but we are independent, and we're independent because sometimes you have to step out in faith, and sometimes it's very difficult. But while we are independent, we still answer and we still have accountability. And so that's very important to me. That's why I needed a trustee board. That's why we're creating our elder board, and that's why we also have accountability so that we never find ourselves alone.
Touching back on Facebook, can you give us an example of how, specific example of how that's helped promote your church, your vision, or even reach a person that eventually came either a part of your leadership or saved or something? Tell us about that.
Well, I have right now, there's a guy in New York who's been listening on Facebook.
Wow.
There's a lady in Tennessee who's been listening on Facebook. My family members listen because they're in different states on Facebook. The connection point for us has been folks have found us who were looking. I can't tell you how many people have come to the church and said, Pastor Mike, we came across you and then we saw your link on Facebook and we went there and recognized you and we found our way home. So I've seen wonders come home. We have seen folks use our, what I like to do is I call it guerrilla marketing. And so what I'll do is I'll go on Facebook and I'll tag all the people in the picture. And you know what that does? That puts that album on their wall. And so now, before you know it, you're reaching thousands upon thousands of people because you tagged these people, and then they see the excitement, the joy, the diversity. We have a very diverse congregation. They see the unity, and they get a chance to go to our website. They read my blog, and then before you know it, they find their way into the kingdom of God. So there have been just story upon story of people who have found us. They read my blogs on Facebook. I have folks in Texas reading my blogs, and just today, a lady from North Carolina wrote on my on our Facebook page, Pastor Mike, I needed that today. My blog was Enemy Mine, and she said, I read this and I needed that. So, so that's how Facebook's impacting us.
Now, I'm fortunate enough to get your emails as well. I don't know if you knew I was on your list, but so I read those, and it seems like a lot of leadership stuff. How often do you do that, and how does that work for you? I mean, I know, a quick email here and there. When you first were starting, you were really given a lot of vision in that. That email was the big platform for you. How does that work for you? And tell us kind of some of the things that you've done with that.
Well, we've started with Gmail because Gmail gives you those free accounts. So we were sending information out. I don't believe you can over-inform anybody. I think that you got to keep getting information, keep getting vision, keep getting story out there. So we now have a CCB account, it's Christian Community Builder. And it's a site that we use that's very, very beneficial to us, that we can send email blasts out. But I still blast out my emails probably on a monthly basis on some of the big things that are coming up, some of the big opportunities and some of the big chances that we want to do a full church gather. Because I use my servant service as really my chance to really do a heavy communication as to what's happening and continue to impact vision. But emails are constant, and then my teams email one another as well. It's so critical that we keep that information flowing because, like I told you before, bro, vision leaks. Yeah. Don't forget it. Vision leaks. It really does.
I wanted to ask, are you guys using any text message technology as of yet?
I text like crazy. I'm a text machine. We're actually looking into right now the ability to do text blasts. And there's a site that my media director's working on so that we can start doing text blasts to people. And so he has the website. It slips me now, but I'm sure I can get that information. Or you could just type in text blast and find it. But I haven't had to use it yet because I have so many people on my phone. I usually end up blasting them that way. Yeah. But also I use email to do a lot. Blast is definitely something we're going to be moving towards. Question.
Awesome. Offline, I'll give you a site that actually me and a friend are developing for that purpose, but just wanted to ask you about that. Now, tell us real quick, if you could, what kind of marketing you've done outside of Facebook that's really worked for you guys, like, maybe one or two things that's really got the word out in the city and got people interested, calling, coming in. Tell us what's worked there.